Hello again, everybody. Nice to have you all with us again here on this lovely Wednesday, the eve of the big European game against Midtjylland. We're here to do the preview of that. We'll go over what happened at the weekend as well, the Glasgow derby. We'll have a wee word on that as well, and any news that's surrounding Celtic. So I've got John here. Let's say hello to John. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Still mid-celebration.
Mid-celebration, yeah, and keep celebrating, John, because believe you me, if they'd won the game, you'd know all about it. So yeah, keep the celebrations going. It's just good to have that sort of a feeling that you get after beating them, John. It's absolutely tremendous, and long may that continue. We hope to take that feel-good factor into the game on Thursday night, John, against Midtjylland.
Aye. Well, they're sitting top of the league, aren't they? So that's going to be a tough game. Although I know they played Hibs recently, and Hibs managed to take a draw off them over in Denmark. So there's every possibility we could get a result here.
Yeah, every possibility indeed, John. And they are a team on form, and we'll go through that when we start the preview, John. But we'll touch on the news just now. There's not much as regards to news. Obviously, earlier on today, it was announced that Callum Osmond, he's been added to the Europa League squad, John, because the rules state that if there's a long-term injury in your squad, you can replace that long-term injury. And of course, Carter Vickers is our long-term injury, John, so he has been replaced by Callum Osmond. I think that's absolutely tremendous news for us, John.
We'll wait and see. I thought the wee guy played fantastic at the weekend against the Rangers. He played really well, gave him good marks for the time he was on the park. I think he had about 4 chances in the short time he was on the park, terrified their defenders. So that's definitely a welcome addition. I like what I'm seeing from him so far.
Yeah. He wasn't given the chance under Brendan Rodgers, but he's definitely getting the chance now, and he's taking that chance. And it gives us more options as well, John, didn't it? You could start with him, or you could bring him on off the bench. Right, okay, so we'll wait and see how young Callum gets on against Midtjylland on Thursday night. Right, Glasgow derby, John, the fallout from that. It's only Rangers supporters that are calling it a fallout, because we're calling it a party, John. So the Daily Record, John, they have their wee comment section, didn't they? And the online thing had a wee quick look at that today. And the Rangers supporters still going on and on and on about a red card that obviously was clearly not a red card, because they're still going on about this big trusty in on the goalkeeper, John, when he tickled his wee cheekbone there, tickled him, didn't even touch him, to be honest with you. They're still asking questions. They're sending letters to the SFA why he wasn't sent off by Trusty. It just makes things so much better for us when we hear things like that, John. Totally Paranoid FC, Paranoid Football Club, going on about the SFA against them, John. But I was looking at the SFA thing here, John, right? That the SFA have now had time to look at that situation in the Glasgow derby on Sunday there, John. They've had time to look at it, and there's still no punishment dished out to Austin Trusty, John. So that just tells you 100% that it wasn't a red card. Because if it was a red card, they would have given him a red card by now, John. And that's absolutely fine as regards to the SFA. No red card, nothing to see here. We move on.
You can't get a red card if you never touched him. I mean, he's pulled his boot away. And then it was stupid that he done that. Maybe he was hoping the ball was going to rebound back out to him or something like that. I really don't know, but he never touched him. There was absolutely zero contact on his face. Zero. If you want to see contact with studs, look at Anthony Ralston's leg and shorts. That's contact.
Absolutely, John. Absolutely. And fair play to the SFA, they're taking none of their nonsense. But they can't do anything about it anyway, because as you say, John, it wasn't a red card, so they can't, give a red card after the fact. They just can't do it. It's as simple as that. He got booked, got his yellow card. That is punishment enough because of the slight intent of follow through there, John. I know there was some slight intent, but zero contact, and he pulls his leg away. It's a yellow card. So, yeah, as you say, Big Trusty shouldn't have put us in that position in the first place. But the right decision was given in the end. And just to add insult to injury to insult, or injury to insult, the other way about, Big Trusty makes the SPFL Team of the Week as well, John. Big Trusty is in the Team of the Week, the SFA Team of the Week. So that's just adding a wee bit of more misery for the Rangers supporters.
Trusty was outstanding in the game. He was outstanding against Dundee. He had a great game, Big Trusty. I'm just glad that it really annoys them. It really, really annoys them that he wasn't red carded. Look, you can't get red carded if there's no red card incident there. If you want to talk about another red card, what about the tackle on Callum McGregor? That should have been a straight red card.
Yeah, there was incidents throughout that game, John, that's getting totally overlooked by Super Scoreboard, the BBC, all these online chats as well, your Daily Records, your Sons, all the usual ones, John. You know the ones I'm talking about. These decisions are getting totally overlooked. Yeah, the challenge on Callum McGregor, potential red card there, John. Then there was the forearm smash on Rio Hatate inside the box, remember? Inside the box, not even looked at by VAR. And then there was the shot from, this one's not been mentioned anywhere, John. I looked at it today, and this is now Wednesday, and I've still looked back at it. I don't understand why no one has mentioned this. Now, they got to look at the penalty given against Celtic with Ralston. Arms tucked by his side. He can't, if he had a saw, he'd have cut his own arms off. His arms were nowhere near the ball. So, even if the ball did hit his arm, it's not a penalty because it's by his side, right? But he gives the penalty. So there you go. We move on. The penalty's given and they score it. But then there was the handball, John. Nobody's mentioned this. And you probably don't even remember it either because we were all in celebratory mode at this point. But it was 2 minutes to go of extra time, John. The 118th minute, Balak Wisha runs into the box, hits a shot. The big man hits a shot and it deflects off the Rangers player's arm and goes wide. Now, this ball was going on target, John. The ball was on target. The shot was on target. It hits the Rangers player's arm. Yeah, his arms were by his side. Of course it was. And it goes out for a corner. Not even looked at by VAR, John. Do you remember that one?
I remember Balak having an attack. I can't remember that incident because there were so many different incidents in the game. And like you say, everybody was in celebratory mode by that point. We're 3-1 ahead. It's just about to blow the whistle. Maybe that's why it was overlooked. But if it was overlooked for that reason alone, then it's blatant cheating.
Sorry, you still there, John?
I'm still here, right?
Yeah, you're right, John. You're absolutely right. And it was, if they're going to give a penalty for that handball against Tony Ralston, John, they've got to give it for that one as well. If anything, Ralston, the ball doesn't hit Ralston's hand. I don't see it hitting his hand. I see the ball going under his body. But this one, definitely, the ball moves direction, John. The shot is on target and it's stopped with his hand and goes out for a corner kick. An absolute stone wall. So as you say, John, there was decisions like that all the way through that game on Sunday. And they're going on about a tackle against their goalkeeper, trying to get a player sent off. Not really made any difference anyway. They still beat them, so it doesn't really matter.
Am I the only one that's seen that Ralston penalty as a free kick to Celtic, by the way? He was impeded, he was shoved by the Rangers player. And I might be the only one seeing that, but when I look at that, I looked at the replays of that, the Rangers player's arm comes out and shoves him down. So I don't know if I'm the only one seeing that. That should have been a free kick to Celtic rather than a penalty to them.
Yeah, exactly, John. And that's your Dallas for you, Andrew Dallas and the VAR. He's no interest in that, John. He only sees one thing there, and that's a ball potentially hitting somebody's arm.
Was he assistant on the VAR, wasn't he? It was McLean, it was the VAR man. Dallas was his assistant or something like that.
Yeah, I know both of them were on it, but I think Dallas was the main man and McLean
both of them are as bad as each other. I mean, if you want to talk about refereeing a Glasgow derby, you couldn't have picked two worse refs than them, unless it was Don Robertson.
Yeah, that's it, John. But no, you're right. He was impeded inside the box, and that's why he fell over. And that should have been a free kick to Celtic. You're bang on, John. But no, we're not going on and on about it. These things happen inside the box. But it's just the Rangers fans' reaction to, a red card that was never a red card. I just don't get it. Anyway, John, we'll move on because that was Sunday. We need to move on to this big game on Thursday night, John. Unless you have anything else to say about it before we move on?
No, really, no. I've done the same things you've done. I'm watching them all moaning about it. We'll take it to the SFA in the morning. That was their famous line on Rangers TV, wasn't it? We'll take it to the SFA in the morning. That's the way they are, just pure entitlement. You know, they're totally entitled to everything. They think the world's against them when, if they look back at the dodgy penalties and all that they get and the things that go against Celtic, if you try and balance that up, it thoroughly leans towards Rangers and the referee department, because they get all these dodgy penalties week after week after week, and Celtic are getting fouls against them for absolutely nothing. Players just throwing themselves to the floor and all that stuff. That's it isn't even a contest when it comes to that kind of stuff. They've got absolutely nothing to complain about.
Yeah, it just makes it absolutely hilarious for us, John, because they're hurting bad, really bad. Right, John, just one more wee thing. Pookie, he's retired. Remember Pookie, Celtic striker, John? I didn't understand what happened to Pookie at Celtic, John. He was very poor at Celtic, and he moved away from Celtic, John, down to Norwich. He was banging in goals for fun. Team Pookie, John, he's now retired from international football. He was a decent player, John, Pookie, but just didn't settle at Celtic, did he?
Nah, he never settled at Celtic. I don't remember much about him, to be honest. But good luck to him in his retirement.
Yeah, okay. As you say, good luck to teammate Pookie, John. Right, big game, John, Thursday night. It's a 5:45 kick-off. It's an early kick-off, this one. This is the third game Martin O'Neill has taken charge of since he came back, John. Martin O'Neill, what a guy, what a manager. And me, Shaun Maloney, there beside them. Can the dream team, John, can they do it again? Can they get another win for Celtic, John? 3 wins in a row would be if we beat Midtjylland. And if we do beat Midtjylland, John, it would be a massive scalp, because as you said at the start of the programme there, John, that they are sitting top of the Europa League. 3 wins out of 3, 9 points, sitting clear at the top of the Europa League. So if we do manage to beat them, John, it'd be some scalp for Martin O'Neill and Shaun Maloney.
Aye, it would be. Martin O'Neill, obviously, he said he watched them against Nottingham Forest. Of course, they beat Nottingham Forest as well, so they've beat some half-decent teams. I watched the game when they played Hibs at Easter Road. I think I watched both of the games, actually. And they do look like a half-decent team. I've got to admit, they do look like a half-decent team. But are they any better than Celtic? I didn't actually see that. But, you know, they're not sitting at the top of that group for nothing, Sander.
Well, that's it, John. That's it. The top of a 36-team league, you remember. You've got to look at it that way. It's not a 12-player team, league. It's not a 12-team league. It's a 36-team league, John. So let's go through some of the stats then, John, because we'll get to the Celtic stuff in a wee minute. Just quickly first, it's Serbian officials for this game on Thursday night, John. They're all Serbian. So hopefully they'll have a good game. It's first against 21st, John, so we're way behind them. I know there's only 3 games played, so it's a sort of a, inaccurate, level, if you want to call it that. It's an inaccurate table, John, because there's only been 3 games played. But it is first against 21st as it stands. Midtjylland, 1 loss in the last 25, John, so that is tremendous for them. That's 1 loss in all competitions, John, in the last 25. Last time out, John, they did only manage a draw, though, against EGF. 1 each against EGF at the weekend there, so no one there for them, but it's still unbeaten. That adds to their unbeaten run. Last time out in the Europa League, John, they beat Maccabi Tel Aviv 3-0 the last time out, John. So that was the last game in Europa League at home against Maccabi Tel Aviv. So again, that adds to their unbeaten run as well, John. They're just a team that is in top form just now.
Aye, we're getting them at the wrong time, but look, good runs have got to come to an end sometimes, Ander, so why not Thursday?
Why not Thursday? Fingers crossed, John. I mean, right now as it stands, I'd be happy with a point in this one, because I think it would be a decent point to take out of this game, John. But they're unbeaten at home also, John, so that's another thing it's up against, is they're unbeaten at home this season. Not one loss at home. They're averaging two goals per game. So again, 2 goals a game, absolutely fantastic. They're just playing well, John. That's the bottom line, isn't it? They're a team in form, and we need to be at the top of our game. But I think we've got the right man in charge, John, to lead us to at least a draw in this one. Martin O'Neill and Shaun Maloney there.
Aye, well, if you look at Martin O'Neill and Shaun Maloney's record, we're averaging 3.5 goals per game. So, aye.
Yeah, that's it. The top scorer, John, is Deju. 16 goals and 18 appearances. That guy, he's the guy that's on the thumbnail, actually. That's the picture of Deju on the thumbnail there. When you click on the video, he has scored 16 goals, John, and 18 appearances. You know, it's it's a strike rate. It really is a brilliant strike rate, John, for that boy. We just hope that his form dries up on Thursday night.
Well, he's up against Big Austin Trusty and Liam Scales, so it'd be harder for him, maybe a wee test for him with it, because they two together for the last 2 games have been absolutely outstanding. Even looking at Trusty, I'm seeing better performances from him than I've seen out of Vickers. And at recent times, I mean.
Yeah, that's it, John. And Big Cameron Carter-Vickers, obviously, he's dropped out of the Europa League squad now, so I don't think he will be back this season, to be honest with you, John. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he is back for the run-in, but I think his season's finished, because I'm hearing stories that it could be even longer than 5 months for Big Cameron Carter-Vickers. But as you say, John, we've got Big Trusty there, stayed him in just in time, and he's put in 2 outstanding performances so far, so we're looking for a third one off the big man. Now, John, I'll quickly run through the MIDTJYLLAND team, John. The predicted 11, I think it's going to start against Celtic, John, and then we'll have a wee quick chat about the Celtic lads, and you can give us the predicted 11 for Celtic as well, right? So it gives you a wee minute or two to think about it. It's going to be Olofsson in goal, Dio, Elrich, Sorensen, Byskov, Billing, Castillo, Janssen, Osorio, Cho, and your big man up front, Deju, up front with his 16 goals already this season. So they're a team on form, John. They're a team playing with confidence. They're beating just about everybody that's put in front of them. But as you said there, John, 5 minutes ago, it's Celtic they're up against now, and it's a Celtic team that's just came off of a Glasgow derby win. So the Celtic lads should be absolutely flying, and looking forward to this one.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mean, Celtic just off the back of the derby win, like you says, that's always a big lift. Martin O'Neill's at the helm. Martin O'Neill in Europe, he was quite a strong manager in Europe, did well with Celtic. I think might see a more defensive side from Celtic and counter-attacking. That's Martin O'Neill had Celtic playing that way a lot in Europe when he didn't fancy Celtic's chances, or he was playing against a stronger team. He tended to go into defensive mode and counter-attack, and he was very successful at that. Yeah, very successful. Your UEFA Cup final, John, knockout UEFA Cup, John, no group stage where you play umpteen games. This was a knockout that Martin got us to the final of, but it's a lot more tougher to get to the final. So I'm not saying Martin's going to get us to this final. We don't even know how long he's going to be there still, John. We don't know what the managerial situation is as it stands. I know there's been the links with Knudsen and Craig Bellamy and a few others, John. I've even heard various different rumours of high-profile managers, Klopp, etc., coming to Celtic, but utter nonsense, John. Nobody knows nothing, to be perfectly honest with you. But what we want, John, is Martin O'Neill to hang around at least until the new year. Aye, ideally that's what I would like myself. Just hang around to the new year. Look, we're miles behind Hearts in the league right now, 9 points behind them with a game in hand, of course, but if anybody can pull that back, it's definitely Martin O'Neill. So look, we're seeing a lot, but he's getting a lot more out of the Celtic team than Brendan Rodgers has got in the past, I don't know how many months. I think he's the right man to pull this back. we don't know if he's going to stay, but if he did stay, I'd have a lot of faith in Martin pulling it back to Celtic being top of the league by Christmas if Martin stays.
Yeah, that's it, John. And if he was to stay for the rest of the season, he would be bringing in, more physical players in January. Martin O'Neill's teams are like big, bulky, physical, Bobo Baldy type players, Johan Mialbi type players, wee battlers in midfield. I know we've got Callum there, but like your Neil Lennon type players, John. That's the kind of players that Martin brought into the team, big physical players, John. Your Volharens of this world, out front, Chris Sutton, big, solid centre forwards, John. Took no nonsense. That's the kind of players Martin loves. But he will get the best out of the current squad, John, and he has already done that in the last 2 games. So we'll wait and see what happens anyway, John, over the next couple of games. I know we've got a league game at the weekend again. I think it's Kilmarnock, isn't it? And then we've got the Michelin game on Thursday. Then there's an international break, John. So we'll wait and see what happens after the international break, John. We'll see what happens during the 2 weeks.
I think Martin liked similar type players to Walter Smith, didn't he? Similar type managers, physical, strong players. Walter Smith was exactly the same as Martin, and he would like the same type of players. But it's just good to have him in charge. We'll wait and see what happens there. I would love him to stay on for at least until Christmas anyway. And if after that, I'd be happy to have him there.
Yeah. Get him to get the club back to the top of the league, and then he can think about what he wants to do. So we don't want to upset the apple cart, do we, John? We want Martin to stay at least until, as we say, January anyway, but preferably to the end of the season. That would be fantastic. John, predicted 11 then for Celtic. I know the team more or less picks itself because we've got so many injuries just now. We've got their usuals out. Your Carter Vickers is still out. Alistair Johnson's still out. And the actual is probably going to be back for the weekend, John. If not, he will definitely be back for after the international break. But he's definitely missing this one, I think. Big Iniacho, and then your long-term injury as well. Jota still out of this one. There's a few out for Midtjylland as well, John. Gabriel, he's out injured. He's definitely out 100%. Chilufya, he's 100% out injured of this one as well. And Ejeri is also out of this one, John. He's also injured. So they've got 3 players out injured. Maybe that's why they drew at the weekend. Who knows? But, John, starting 11 for you. What do you think, buddy? 1 to 11.
Schmeichel, he'll be looking forward to getting back to Denmark. Schmeichel, Trusty, Scales, Anthony Ralston, and Sriracha. That's my back line. I don't think that will change after the weekend. I think all the players were outstanding.
Yeah.
Is that yours? Is that your pick?
The only one that's going to change there is clearly Sriracha or Tierney, John. But yeah, totally agree. Sriracha for me.
Right, centre of the park. I think he'll go with the same midfield 3, Callum, Engels and Nygren.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, we can only guess. I would go with Callum, Nygren and Rio for this one, John. I'd put Rio back into the centre of the field for this one, but who knows, John? We'll wait and see what happens on Thursday night. But whether it's Engels or Rio, John, we know that Martin's going to get the best out of them, so we'll wait and see.
Martin's wanting his money's worth at Engels, I think. He's played him in the 2 games so far, Falkirk and the Rangers. Yeah,
what do you think then, John, of Engels and Nygren together and attacking midfield roles ahead of Callum McGregor? Do you think it's working? Clearly it's working. We've won 2 games, but can it get better, John? Will he stick with it? What do you think, buddy?
We'll wait and see what happens against Midtjylland. I think they definitely look quite solid in the centre of the park, them 3. I just don't think Engels offers you the same level as Rio Hatai, even though Rio's off form right now. I think you could say that he couldn't hit a barn door with his shots and all that stuff. I think that's why Martin's picking Engels over Rio, but I think Engels over Rio, but I think Engels is going to start this one. I've just got a feeling that Martin quite likes the look of him. Martin thinks he can get a wee bit more out of him, I think. And the difference between Engels and Rio, I think, is Engels is not afraid to put a tackle in. And it's a great set piece taker as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and I'll tell you something else about Engels I've noticed over the last few games, John, last couple of games, sorry. As he's getting involved, he's taking no nonsense from opposite players. Against Rangers, he was right in their faces, John. I love to see it. I just love to see Engels right in their faces, pushing them out the road, John, taking no nonsense. So that's a brilliant thing for me, Engels doing that. And I know a lot of the players were doing that on Sunday. But for Engels, he's normally the quiet man in the team, isn't he? It was just good to see him showing a bit of passion, if you like, John.
He definitely looks more up for it since Rodgers left. I think Martin seems to be getting that wee bit extra out of Engels. Still doesn't look like another £1 million player, by the way. But I think Martin seems to be getting a wee bit more out of him. Martin's getting a wee bit more out of every player, especially guys like Callum McGregor. He's had a new lease of life by the looks of things.
Yeah, we've got the Callum of old back, John. We've definitely. Just brilliant to see our captain back to what we know he can do, running that midfield. The Rangers players didn't know, but they tried to man mark him, wasn't working. They tried to, zonal mark him, wasn't working. They can't control Callum McGregor, especially when it comes to these big cup games, John. That's when Callum really steps up, and the whole team stepped up, to be fair to them. Right, John, that's where you're going to be anyway. That's your three. I'll agree with that as well. Front three, John, it's more or less picks itself now, I suppose, John. But the only question is it Osmond or is it Johnny Kenny up front to start?
Johnny Kenny. I think it'll be Johnny Kenny to start this one. Johnny Kenny, again, another guy that had maybe 5 or 6 chances against them. Callum Osmond, I think he had 4 chances against him and took one. Johnny Kenny had maybe 6 chances and took one. I think Johnny Kenny adds a wee bit more physicality. I think he's taller than Osmond by a few inches, and he's good in there as well. I've not seen much of Osmond to comment on him, but Johnny Kenny is good in there. He doesn't lose much. Scored exactly the same goal he did against Dundee as he did against the Rangers. Very similar goals, heading it away for the keeper. So I think he'll start with Johnny Kenny, Dyson on the right and Tenecto on the left. Yeah,
that's it for me as well, John. It'd be very interesting to see Callum Osmond and Johnny Kenny playing together. I think the pace that Osmond's got, I think it's blistering pace that boy's got. His speed, I mean, he just outran the Rangers' defence every time that ball was played down the channels. Outran them, got to the ball first every single time. Just electrifying pace. I think it'd be interesting to see the wee man and the big man, little and large up front, John. Martin O'Neill likes his little and large, Larsson and Sutton, Kenny and Osmond. So it's not going to happen, but is it? No, especially away from home in Europe, it's going to be the one.
That's the thing with Martin O'Neill. He still plays that three forwards.
Yeah.
That's Martin O'Neill traditionally liked the 2, didn't he? The 2 up front. Like you say, Sutton and Larsson, Sutton and Hartson and Larsson, different combinations, but it was always the 2 up front with Martin O'Neill, so he seems to be sticking with us 3 up front right now. Yeah,
he doesn't want to move the goalpost too much, John, but it's his morale building that Martin's good at. He gets the best out of every single player. And I was surprised, I was listening to the Martin O'Neill interview after in fact, it was before the Falkirk game, actually. It was the interview before the Falkirk game. He's chatting away to the press. And he says, the Celtic board, Dermot Desmond, never came back in for him for, 20 odd years, John? And I was thinking about it. There were so many managers we had between Martin O'Neill and now that, weren't great. Your Tony Mowbray's in this world, things like that, John. Why did Celtic never go back in for Martin O'Neill? What's your thoughts on that, John?
No idea. I've no idea why. I mean, because we had guys like Ronnie Dyler and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, Ronnie done well at Celtic, didn't he? But you've got to remember the time, there was no Rangers in the league either. But a guy like Martin O'Neill would have been a huge lift for the Celtic fans, bringing him back. Now I think he's come up for 74. Maybe Martin's not really up for taking a job on full time at 74 years old. It's just a fair age for just putting your feet back into the management game, isn't it? Guy should be retired and enjoying himself, but he loves Celtic as well, and I'm sure being in charge of a big club like Celtic maybe keeps Martin young as well.
Yeah, as I said last week, John looks fit as a flea anyway. Just got to take it a wee bit easier on that touchline. He's gone off his head at some points in that game, hasn't he? Yeah, okay, right, John. So that's us. We've done the predicted lineup. We'll see come Thursday evening, John. Thursday evening. Be quick word on the competition before we get to the predictor competition. Correct score competition. 3 points per Celtic correct score every Celtic game. If you get the correct score right, you get 3 points on that league table there on your screen. I've not had one for a week or so, John. I've not had any right for a week. It's nobody predicted Hearts clearly. Nobody predicted getting beat 3-1 with them. Nobody predicted one each in the Glasgow derby. So we'll move on to Michelin, John. So get your guesses in, folks. One guess each to win the fantastic prize. If you're at the top of the league come the end of the season, we'll post that to you free of charge. Full of Celtic goodies, scarves, footballs, watches, lighters, pens, the whole thing's there. The whole lot is there. Just get your guess into the comments if you're in that league table. And even if you're not in the league table, get a guess in anyway. It's just a bit of fun. Predictor for the weekend there. None of us got any that right, John. I think there were 7 games involved in that. We didn't get any right. And by the way, Celtic B got beat 4-0 off Clydebank, John. I was shocked at that because the Celtic B are normally quite good, but they got beat 4-0 off Clydebank. That was part of our predictor. Okay, this midweek predictor, John. We're on Wednesday. We missed out last night's games, so clearly we can't do that. But there's only 4 in this week's predictor, John. We'll start with the Celtic game, and it's Michelin against Celtic. 6:15 kick-off Thursday night. We're looking for at least a draw, John. But what's your predictor for the league table on the right-hand side there?
Oh, it's a tough one, isn't it? And they're all tough. And Celtic is still unpredictable because now we're starting to win games, whereas before we were unpredictable because we couldn't buy a win.
Yes.
So maybe things are starting to balance themselves out with Celtic. Martin O'Neill at the helm. Traditionally, quite a good record in Europe with Celtic. I'm going to go for a Celtic win in this one. 2-1 Celtic.
Oh, yes. That sounds good to me. And by the way, Martin O'Neill press conference for the pre-match press conference has not been released yet, so we don't know what Martin's going to be saying, and that we'll have a wee word on if there's anything interesting on Friday about that. I'll say, let me have a wee I think it'll be a draw, John. I'm afraid. I think it'll be 2 each. Celtic 2, or Michelin 2, sorry, Celtic 2 in that one. Hope I'm wrong. Hope you're right, John. I actually hope you get the 3 points here and Celtic win the game 2-1. Right, John, let's move on with this predictor then. There's only another 3 left in it, and it's the Rangers against Roma. John, I didn't really look into how Roma are doing, but they're not top of the league because we are playing the team at the top of the league, Michelin. So I don't know where they are in the group. But, Rangers, maybe they can complain to UEFA if they don't get a decision in this one. Against Roma, John, what do you think?
It's a tough one again, isn't it? I've just got to check where they are on the table, actually. But it's Roma, isn't it? If it's back at Ibrox, they'll not be in the best moods for that. I think Roma win this one 3-0. No, 3-1.
I don't know, John. It's very tough,
20th, by the way.
Are they? Right, so they're quite poor.
They've only got 3 points and they're sitting 20th. 2 places below Celtic.
Yeah, and saying that, John, they're actually only 1 point behind Napoli at the top of the league in the Italian league. So maybe they've got priorities elsewhere, John, possibly. But they're sitting 4th in the Italian league, 1 point behind top, sitting 4th. So they're doing no bad in their own domestic league, I suppose. So hopefully they can take that form into the Europa League at Ibrox. And I don't know, John. 2-0. I'll go 2-0 to Roma in that one. Okay.
I'm going 3-1.
Okay, John. Fair play. Aberdeen and the Cup Winners' Cup. What do you call it again?
Conference League.
Yeah, Conference Cup. Yeah, Larnaca. They're playing, John. They're away to Larnaca. Aberdeen against Larnaca, away from home. What's your prediction for that one, buddy?
2-0 Larnaca.
Sounds good to me as well, actually, John. I'll go 2-1. 2-1 to Larnaca. No, I'm going to change it. I know you shouldn't, but I'm going 3-1 to Larnaca in that one. And just carry that on Matty, John. It was just for the cricket score elements of this one. I threw it into the pot for the predictor, for the midweek predictor. Inter Milan versus Kairat Almaty. What do you think, John?
I'm going to watch that one later. I'm going for 5-0 Inter.
Yeah, it's going to be a cricket score, I think, John. I think you're right. And Inter Milan sitting second in Italian League, by the way, joint top, but sitting second behind is it Lazio, Napoli? Can't remember. Napoli is. I'll say 4-0, John. 4-0 to Inter Milan for me in that one. That's it. That's the predictor. Just the 4 games. Nothing else really of interest there that we can really talk about. And I could add another 10 games into the predictor, but what's the point, really? What's the point?
Well, the point is so you can catch up.
No, it's plenty of time. Full season to go, trying to catch up. That's fine. It's only what 8 in it or something like that. It's not too bad. Plenty of time for both for you to stretch away in the lead, John, or for me to catch up. We'll wait and see what happens with that. Good luck, everybody, with the competition, the league competition on your left hand side. I think I said right earlier. So on your left hand side there. Good luck with that, everybody, with your guests, and hopefully some of us get 3 points in this one, because Roseanne's still sitting there top of that table there, John, as everybody can clearly see. She's doing brilliant. She's still top, but she's been top from more or less day one. So we're looking for some people, and Roseanne, including Roseanne, to get 3 points in this one.
Aye, I kind of predicted they two last season, Collins and Roseanne, both of them were getting prizes regular when we used to give it a prize every week.
Yeah,
they were getting prizes regular. Collins won a few. I think it was framed prints at the time, and so did Roseanne. Both of them are very good at the predictor, and rightly so. Both of them are sitting top of the league on 9 points.
Yeah, that's it, John. Top of the league. That's where they belong. You get it right, you get 3 points. You go up the league table. That's the rules. It's as simple as that. And good luck everybody else with the competition. There's a few still down there on 0. I'm one of them. No, I've got one now, John. I've actually got one now. I've got 3 points there. So good luck anyway, everybody, with that. And more importantly, good luck to Celtic on Thursday night, John, because I think if we come away with at least a draw in this one, the feel-good factor just continues for us.
Aye, it does. I mean, I try to be optimistic and thinking the way Martin O'Neill used to have Celtic playing in Europe. I just think Celtic can take something out of this game. I really do. I really think Celtic can take something. Be it a draw or a narrow win. I fancy Celtic to take something. I hope I'm right. We do take something, but I have got that wee feeling that we can sneak something here. Definitely.
Yeah. We're all a bit more hopeful than what we were last week at this time. Let's put it that way, John. We'll wait and see if we keep saying if we keep saying that. But that's all we can do is watch the game, see what happens. Right, John, we'll return on Friday for the Friday edition of the Celtic Forever podcast. We'll be back to do the preview of the weekend game, John. We'll be here to do that. But we'll also have a wee chat on the game on Thursday night, the Midtjylland game. We'll have a wee 5-10 minutes post-match reaction to that one. Hopefully we're talking about at least a draw, John, but a win, hopefully, for us.
Hopefully. I'll take either right now, a draw or a win, because that's the form team in the Europa League right now. So, I don't know, it's Celtic and it's under a new management who's brought his own ideas to Celtic, which is, to me, it looks a lot better. It's direct. You might see that from Celtic. You might see a lot of that again. You know, some long balls thrown up there to test their defenders. Like Johnny Kenny's no bad in there. He can hold the ball up and all that stuff. So you might see that. Martin O'Neill imposing that totally different style that maybe these teams expect Celtic to play left, right, and backwards like they did under Brendan Rodgers. But they're going to be up against a very, very tough opponent in Celtic Midtjylland. Make no mistake about it. It ain't going to be easy for them. The top three in the group, by the way, is Midtjylland, Braga and Leon, all sitting on 9 points.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's all about the opposition you've played as well, John. And it's the group stage is more interesting once you're halfway through it, I think. So we'll wait and see, as I say, on Thursday night. And to be honest with you, I really couldn't care less because we just beat the Rangers at the weekend there, and that's all I'm concerned about. Beating them, brilliant. And we're still on a high, cloud nine after that one, John. We quick look at the weekend's fixtures then before we go, John. We quick run through them. Falkirk against Livingston. St Mirren are up against Hibernian. That's all on the Saturday. Then on Sunday we've got Aberdeen against Motherwell. We've got Dundee against Rangers. I mean, Dundee against Rangers anyway. Hearts against Dundee United. Good luck to Dundee United in that one. And of course Celtic are at home to the Kelly Boys. Kilmarnock at Paradise at 4 o'clock on Sunday, John. That's a wee bit later kick-off on Sunday for that one. Just bear in mind that, folks, it's a 4 o'clock kick-off, not a 3 o'clock kick-off on Sunday. Right, John, you in chat before we go?
Aye, good luck, Dundee United.
Yeah,
all I can say, really. I mean, Dundee United, they will give Hearts a game. They will give them a game. We'll get to the predictor for the weekend soon. No, but on the game on Thursday, I can only say just I think we're going to see a totally different Celtic than what we're used to seeing in Europe. It won't be that slow, boring Celtic that we normally see. You'll see hungrier players. The players have got a wee swagger about them right now, an attitude about them. Look, hopefully we can carry that right into that game against Midtjylland and hopefully come away with the full 3 points. But I fancy us to take at least a draw.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, John. Brilliant. Okay, we'll call it a day there, John. That's us. Just one very quick thing. I'm just looking at Hearts there, John. I don't know if I'm reading this right or not, but is that 3 league home games in a row for Hearts? That was Celtic at Tynecastle, Dundee at Tynecastle, and now Dundee United at Tynecastle. There you go, John. 3 home games in a row. Can't beat it, eh? Can't beat it.
Celtic's last couple of games in the league haven't been very good, obviously, but this is different now. This Celtic's season starts now. It started since Martin O'Neill took over. 4-0 win against Falkirk. Easy. And then another home game, which is good, against Kilmarnock. I fancy Celtic to win that one as well, comfortable. It's looking good at Celtic right now, Xander, but this game will tell us a lot what kind of Celtic, what kind of frame of mind they're going to be in by the weekend against Kilmarnock. But I'm sure Martin will make sure, let the Celtic players know the most important thing is winning that league, catching Hearts, and put them back in their box.
Yeah, well said, John. And that's a wee idea, friend, that was to start a Celtic podcast. A Celtic frame of mind. There you go, eh?
Celtic frame of mind, aye. I think that one's been done and dusted, isn't it, by now?
Yeah, that's it. Right, John, thanks for coming on, buddy. We'll catch you on Friday.
Catch you Friday, Xander. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail, John. Catch you later.
The Celtic Forever podcast is a zero advert and zero profit channel. The channel also includes Celtic highlights and player interviews, so join the uninterrupted fun and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.